Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I wanted to do a vlog about, this is one I've kind of hesitated to get into because it's just, I don't want to upset anyone. I know everyone has their sensitivities about things they like and don't like in today's culture, of all things, but I live in my own mind and do things the way I've always done them. I just quietly shake my head at the world and its ever-changing ways of defining, what's proper and what's not, what's politically correct and what's not. But saying that, I'll get right into GTA6. I've known since the day GTA 5 came out, I loved it. Great game. In fact, I've got the definitive edition, which I only got maybe 3 or 4 hours into this. I'm in the Franklin missions, and enjoying them. And I just never played it because I felt guilty. And like I've already got over 100 hours in the Xbox 360 version, did 100% completed the game, and I'm just missing a few of the stunt jumps. Other than that, I found every collectible, did every side quest, everything that you could do in this game, and it's one of my top 5 favorite series of all time. Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, I'd say probably Mafia, GTA, and Sniper Elite. Those are, I would say, off the top of my head, are my 5 favorite gaming franchises. So I'm not just a casual someone who's, and I own every one of the games. From going to the original, PlayStation ones, and of course, I've got, GTA 3 and Vice City, and those, I have got those on the PlayStation 2. I've got them all for the original Xbox, and I've got them all for the PS4 as well, and for the Xbox One with the new ones, the I guess definitive edition trilogy, which I personally love now that they finally fixed them. And I pay top dollar. I've bought the best versions of every one, the deluxe editions with and the hardbound guidebooks, and because I love the series. I love the Rockstar games. I've got a couple other open world Rockstar games, L.A. Noire and the Red Dead Redemption 2, which I haven't played yet, and I'm anxious. This is an important game, and I want to fully get into this. I need to finish the first Red Dead Redemption. I'm about halfway into that one, pretty deep into the Mexico missions, and I want to finish that one first. I'll probably play the new 4K version of it on the Xbox One X, and then I'll play this. And I've been started replaying this again about a year ago, and really was enjoying my time in that. Great games. Rockstar is just, they spend a tremendous, when it's done, it's done. That's always been their kind of their motto. They do it, they take their time, they keep it heavily under wraps, then they release a masterpiece. And this got like 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s. Naturally, I knew right away, I could see I watched every single mainstream review of this early on, and I knew this is it. This will be the last one where they got away with everything, because the whole woke thing started right around the time that this came out on the 360 in 2013. 2013, 14, and 15 is where I started seeing this overt political correctness, and oh, we don't say that anymore, we have to say this. Well, bullshit, I'll say what I want. If you're offended by it, I'm sorry that you have those sensitivities. It's not my problem. That's your problem that you've created because you've bought into this cult-like mindset of this woke culture, which is absurd. And what's funny is that I'm probably more of a true liberal than a lot of the illiberals, is what I call them today. They're anything but liberal. They're actually the fascists, ironically. It's funny how in the 60s, they were all about love and freedom and liberty and all the things. And my parents were very much liberal-minded people growing up. But over the years, I just adopted more of a balanced view, a good combination of, I still believe in the Ronald Reagan and the trickle-down economics because it worked in my life. When the upper class did well and the upper middle class and the regular middle class did well, they would call me to paint signs and to do paintings, and it would trickle down. Then I buy a lot of things and buy new cars and buy DVDs or VHS tapes, and so I'm perpetuating the economy. That was the whole concept of it. For those that just refuse to see past that filter of socialism, they see that as evil. But anyway, that's getting way off topic. But I've adopted a combination of liberal and conservative viewpoints as a libertarian, which is predominantly what I am. And so I really liked the biting satire equally on the left and the right. I'd say almost equally. It was really hard pressed to see whose side they were on more, but all of them, starting with GTA 3 in particular, and they ramped it up with Vice City and especially, and even GTA 4. You know, here's someone, an immigrant coming to America, and his whole story of how fucked up America is and what it really takes to make it to the top. It's not, you know, your academics, it's really who you know and who you can do favors for and who can do favors for you. And so there's a lot of, it exposes the hypocrisy and the parody that is America quite often. It's a strange place. A lot of things are juxtaposed in America, and this game, just to me, this is my favorite of all of them. In fact, I was just talking with SolidRev, we were texting back and forth last night, and he prefers the story and characters to GTA 4. Now, and I said I like the car physics of GTA 4 better. I like that they were really trying to get realistic with the car physics, the ragdoll physics, the shooting physics I thought were great. I like the subtle orange glow of the weapons where they were hidden and stuff. There's just lots of things about GTA 4, and they nailed the New York kind of vibe and feeling of it quite a bit. I really loved it, and I'm right at the middle of GTA 4. I need to finish that one too. That was right around the time I was going back and forth and playing a lot of open world games, and I'd put a couple months into it and then I'd stop, or a couple weeks into it and stop, and so I slowly would progress through all of these games. I like a smorgasbord. My nephew will play one game, nothing but this game, the only game on the coffee table, this, when he's done, 100%ed, trophy, platinum, whatever, done. Okay, now, next one. And he takes the next game and goes through. I like to jump around. It's just who I am. ADD, ADHD, whatever, you know, another label that you need to call, whatever it is, it's just who I am and what I do. But this game, I knew when I saw the reviews, I said, this will be it. This will be the swan song for GTA. Because this was already just like a giant hard on muscling into the scene of the woke culture, and it didn't give a fuck. And it was like, it's so overt and in your face in every aspect, from the drug culture to, I mean, you know, the whole South Central LA, which I was a part of during the LA riots and saw firsthand, being on the edge of Inglewood, which was like where the beginning of the all hell broke loose. So I've lived it, and that's why I have a problem with some of the games that are very gang related. I like elements of them, but once you lived it and you saw the abuse and the bloodshed and the hatred and the pure racism and hatred of it on both sides, it was just very distasteful. So I took it all in strides. GTA 5, you didn't have to play as Franklin forever and do the gangbanger missions that long. I mean, you could quickly jump into the Michael missions or the Trevor ones, whatever, which I liked. I like jumping around. The sociopath Trevor was a great, I mean, all of them were great. It just showed a complete satire on Facebook and social, climbing through the social, you know, media thing. All of it was very good. What is it, bud? Yeah, come over here and see your baby brother. Come here, bud. That's Vinny in the background crying. He wants something. Probably hungry. But anyway, it's a shame because the new one now, I mean, it's not just the female protagonist that's forced. Again, you say it's a Bonnie and Clyde type deal. Is it going to be two lesbian lovers on the run that are one of them or both of them are both minorities? They're trying to be as inclusive as they can. They say, oh, we're not going to punch down at minority groups, so they're not going to be saying anything about trans or homosexuals or overly straight people or you know, fundamentalist Christians, or they'll probably poke at certain things and mock the conservatives naturally, but it's going to be very slanted. And when Dan Houser left, I saw slowly, like rats fleeing a sinking ship, and several other big development devs that had been there a long time that were disenchanted with what was coming out, what was GTA 6 was becoming, and how long it was taking, said, we're done. I'm out of here. This is going nowhere. They could see it was morphing into something that they didn't feel special anymore. And I know that's why they left, and you know that's why Dan Houser left. Dan Houser's the main writer. When you take him out, you're cutting out the soul of Rockstar Games. It is the soul of Rockstar Games. Now this is, Team Bondi in Australia did most of this by and large, but Rockstar had some, say-so in the development of it, obviously, and the money, the bank purse strings behind it. But Dan Houser was very good at creating incredible stories and story arcs. Now, SolidRev goes, well, it's been rumored that Dan Houser already wrote the story for GTA 6, and so that's already in place. I'm telling you, it's not his story. It may have the core, overarching, basic narrative, but it's been perverted and polluted. So basically, you've lost the soul of Rockstar, and they've lost their spine, too. So, I mean, they're just a limp noodle. I'm not interested. I have zero interest. I'd much rather play the Saints Row reboot, believe it or not, with the Gen Z and millennial stuff, which I don't know if I could take it. But I do like the Southwestern thing, and I pre-ordered it just in case. I can always cancel it and not get it. I've watched some things on it that I like, and I've watched some things on it that I don't. I can't even pick a gender in the new Saints Row. And then the breast size you could make if you wanted to be a woman, God forbid, but if that's your thing, you could be a big voluptuous woman with huge breasts. They've eliminated that. So, of course, I don't care about that because I would never play as a woman if I have a choice. Now, if they had, let's say, the 3 characters and one of them was a woman, instead of Trevor, you played as Michael and Franklin, and then, another woman, Susan or something, that was a part of the criminal organization or whatever, that would have been fine. I have no problem jumping around and playing as a black man and as a woman, but to play solely as a game series that is predominantly a male power fantasy, basically, and a mutual parody at the same time, a parody of America. I mean, they've cut the nuts, literally, the testicles, right out of this fucking game series. And then on top of that, they say it's going to be an ever-changing world, which means it's going to be a live service game like GTA 5 Online, which I've never played, never. Because I beat the other game and did well, I got $1 million in cash when I bought this game. Somehow they know through the social club or something. So I got loaded up with money to buy, and I haven't spent that much yet. I'm saving it so I can buy the helicopters and the planes, everything that I want, and especially the cars early on for my single-player campaign. But it's just tragic to me that that series is fucking dead. And it's a shame. We got to wait another 2 years for something I'm not even going to play. This will be the first time I'm not interested. I don't care. It's exact, and I'll tell you the parallel of this is getting into movies, but everyone knows I love George Lucas and Star Wars and the Indiana Jones movies. As a kid, at about 13, 14 years old when the first Star Wars, that first wonderful week in 1977, May 4th or whatever, I had to see it a couple days after it premiered. I had to wait till that Friday night to see it instead of the Wednesday or whatever it came out. It was a magical experience. My life changed because of George Lucas. I got it down and moved to L.A. as a kid with like $175 in my pocket, living out of my car. I said, I'm going to work for Hollywood, and I didn't initially. I had to work in the sign industry, but eventually I segued into Hollywood, very well-paying jobs, and I loved it. I didn't quite get into special effects and doing matte paintings, the stuff I wanted to do, but because of George Lucas, I got into a hobby and a career that I really enjoyed, where I took it beyond a hobby into making money and profession, and did very well. I put in 80 and 90-hour weeks when I was working in the movie industry and made, way better money than I'm making now. Tremendous money. The problem is I had no time to spend it. So I went out and bought a new Lincoln, I bought a new Corvette. I had a lot of nice cars back then. I could afford anything I wanted because I was making a bankroll at a young age. $23 an hour plus time and a half and everything. Back then, putting in 80, 90-hour weeks. I worked 4 months straight without one day off. That's how dedicated of a hard work ethic I have. And I still have today. I just can't put in the mega hours. But what I'm getting at is that George Lucas was big and Star Wars is big. And when I saw all of a sudden everyone liked the prequels at first, were well received, Even though the people will tell you otherwise, I'm telling you, they were very well liked. I was there. I was there opening week for all 3 prequels and opening week for all 3 of the original Star Wars films. And, you know, Empire Kicks Back and Return of the Red Eye. And I mean, I've seen them all that first day. Empire and Return of the Jedi, I saw the opening day. The first Star Wars, I had to wait like 3 days, but I saw it the first week. Even got a beautiful, rare color brochure, which are now worth a fortune. Mine's gone, sadly. But anyway, and the reason why I'm making the analogies is that Star Wars and George Lucas was a huge part of my life, just like GTA is. A lot of my gaming identity and how I game and the kind of gaming I like in third-person shooters is because of GTA. It's a wonderful series. I love this new definitive edition too. I have 0 complaints here. I had some problems with the brake lights and the rear lights of the car not coming on at nighttime, and then all of a sudden you'd get on the brakes, you'd see them. They fixed that. They fixed some of the misspellings. Other than that, I had no problem with the game. So it's perfect now. So, but you know, you can want to believe the hype and all the bullshit that it's a shit game. You know, you can believe it, but they fixed it now, and it plays and looks amazing playing on a new gen console. I've got them for both. I've got the digital version for the PlayStation 4, and I got a physical copy for my Xbox One X because I love the series so much, and it's soul crushing to me that number one, it became a live service game, which I will never, I boycott every one. Well, why do you have to boycott it? What's the big deal? Some of us like multiplayer games because if I engage in it and buy into that, then I'm one of the things that's causing it to go in that direction. People don't see that. You got to see yourself when you vote politically or when you vote with your wallet. It's only one vote. And yeah, the majority of you are going to want your Battlefields and Call of Duty. My son-in-law, he's a dedicated Call of Duty Battlefield. That's all he plays. And he might play a couple other but really multiplayer only. I don't even think he does single player. I saw one Christmas, he saw it at Shadow of the Tomb Raider as a gift, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and all that stuff's trash. I don't even play that. It's not real gaming. Real gaming is you play online, you know. I mean, that's his thing, and that's great. I'm just happy my daughter married a gamer, and I bought him a nice, the second to the flagship TV from Samsung. Didn't pay the mega bucks, but I got him a really nice TV, and he's to this day greatly thankful for it. But he likes to play GTA Online too, 5 online, and that's fine. And it's great that you guys want to buy into that. That's fine. But everyone bought into it so much that that's where gaming is going now. So now Ubisoft is now taking their games away and all this, and the DLC that we can, well, it's ours. We reserve the right to. You can enjoy it for a season, but we deem that we can pull it back anytime we want. And sorry that you paid for Driver San Francisco and some of the Assassin's Creed single player DLC, but we own it now. And see, that's what Rockstar is going to try to do too. They're already doing it with the online thing. I think the Red Dead Redemption 2 online, I think, is on its way out. I don't think it's done very well. They finally gave up on it. That's fine. I mean, but again, I buy these games, and I paid another $60 for this with no problem, because with first-person abilities in it, and with much better graphics. I saw the comparisons, much better graphics. You're damn right I'll pay $60. I would have paid $160 for this, because I'm a dedicated GTA fan. But just because I'm dedicated doesn't mean I'm going to buy into it when the new one comes out. And believe me, it's going to be in kind of a Vice City remaster in some ways, or take place in Florida and everything. There's a lot of aspects of it that I think are great. I'm happy to hear where it's going to be located and that they're going to expand on the areas and everything. It's wonderful, but I still will never touch it. That's the difference between me and a lot of my friends that are gamers, is that when I make a stand, I will not bulge from that stand. I won't bulge from it. I make a stand. And with the Star Wars films, again, I've been a top topic. This is where ADD and lack of sleep all mixed in a cauldron comes out like Dean Thompson, where I'm just all over the place. But getting back to Star Wars, I knew when George Lucas, the prequels were all of a sudden hated. And George got tired of all of the hate, and we go to a Star Wars convention or something, and everyone's just, the prequels suck, and Jar Jar Binks, sucks donkey dicks and all this stuff. And it just got to him. He just tried to make a good, fun family film for kids. He tried to clean up the old ones and give them up to speed with a little bit better special effects and add a few little fun things that he thought was, was good for the series. And I accepted him. As an artist, I've gone back years later and changed some of the things in my paintings. And I looked at him as an artist, and that's his prerogative, I mean, and I don't like all of the changes that he made, but most of them I like. I like the fact that at least all the special effects look like they're on the same page now. I mean, that's what he was really going for. So I accepted it. I like his films. I like the prequels. Do I like the prequels as much as the original trilogy? Of course not. But I'm glad that he made them, and I'm really glad that he approved the animated ones, the Pixar type ones, the Clone Wars and then the Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, which I own all of in the pilots. Wonderful, wonderful films, on DVD that I have. I couldn't afford the Blu-rays, they're way up there, but I'm very happy to have the DVDs. I even bought my friend Jeremy as a gift because he loves Star Wars as much as I do. I bought him a set of them as well. But I knew that the films, when Disney was going to buy it for $5 billion, which was, frankly, they got it cheap, and George Lucas just said, okay, fine, I wash my hands with it, you take it. Because he was afraid his kids made, God only knows what they'd do with it, selling it or working it out or whatever. So he thought that it would be in good hands with Disney. Boy, was he wrong. Oh, look what Disney's turned into recently. Look at all the controversy and just how woke they are. And it's perverted, it's twisted. It was a beautiful, wonderful thing at one time, just like Star Wars was. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to watch any of the I saw the first Star Wars thing they did years ago when the first 7th film supposedly was coming out with the girl, the Mary Sue, lead. And I go, here we go. And right down the line, they clicked off all the inclusive things. Every pandering checklist one, checked, double checked. I mean, and I just said instantly, and I said, and George Lucas didn't write any of it? I'm like trying to find out, research it. Oh, he has nothing to do with it? They didn't even consult him? Oh, no. Only George Lucas can write those stories. He is the core, the soul of Star Wars. I have never, and I proudly have never, and I never will. You can't force me like the Clockwork Orange, holding my eyes open and in a straitjacket. You can't force me to watch those films. I will never, ever watch those movies, any of them. They're complete, utter trash. To me, there's 6 films. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It ends nicely. It ends on a positive note. Done. It didn't need another movie. Just because we want more cookies and ice cream doesn't mean maybe we should have more cookies and ice cream. That's why as parents, someone has to say, no, you've had enough. George should have said, no, that's it, it's done. But he gave the Disney saw it as a cash cow, and boy, did they just pervert it. Now the series is just all over the map. The canon's changed. Parts of the games that were canon no longer are canon. Books are canon. Things are not canon. It's crazy. It's just all over the place. And God forbid you show any footage of it, because Disney will own your ass and sue you and strike your channel down. Vinny, hold on, bud. I'll get you some food in a little bit. Come over here, Buddus. Come here. Come over here, bud. Come up here. You see your baby brother? Come here. There's Vinny. He's been playing Stray. He loves the Stray. Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah. He loves the Stray game. Hi, bud. I got to get back to Stray. My granddaughter was here for a whole week, and so it was more, my wife was watching things with her, and I had to kind of take a little hiatus from gaming for a little bit, but that's okay. It's fine. I had a good time with her. In fact, we watched asked me to watch a live Overwatch stream, which I watched with her one night, which was interesting, a little chaotic, but interesting. Glad that she's into gaming, though. That's the main thing. But just like Star Wars, it got ruined. Guaranteed, Rockstar is going to go the same way. There'll still be quality elements, just like the Star Wars movies. Got quality special effects. Some of the characters and acting is good. Some directing is good. Some special effects are good. But it's just missing the soul. And in Rockstar's case, the spine, because the biting satire has been cut out of. They've castrated it. So it's gone. Anyway, I could go on and beat a dead horse on it. But this has happened in too many series. I mean, I can think of 3 games right now for the 9th gen. That's it. 3 games. 2 Warhammer 40K games coming out. One will be an Xbox exclusive. So that's why I'm going to get a Series X first. I'm going to get a Series X, and then within a year later, I'll get the PS5. And then, of course, Destroy All Humans. That's it. Those are the only next-gen games out of the dozens and dozens that they've already got. Sorry, nothing is doing it for me. That Stray was it. I'm like, oh, thank God, that's great. That looks cool. You know, it's not SolidRev's thing. I'd rather play as a woman than a damn house cat, he said yesterday. I thought that was funny. And I said, I know, bud. I know. You're a cat person and you'll appreciate it, but if you're not a cat person, you know, the game may not have it. You might find it interesting because of the sci-fi elements and the overarching narrative that it's driving you through that little world, but it's not obviously for everyone. But anyway, that's my spiel on that. It's just tragic to me to see something I love so much, just like the Gran Turismo series. Gran Turismo Sport and now Gran Turismo 7. You guys bought Gran Turismo Sport. You all bought it. Oh, it's okay. Oh, I know it's online only, but I mean, we've been waiting so long for a Gran Turismo. When you guys, when you do that and you compromise like that, you fuck us all, because now guess what? Oh, the next one, fucking A, online only. And that's where it goes. And you're just shelling out money for a rental. And someday they go poof and it disappears. Well, where's my GT? But I bought all the cars. Fuck you. It's ours. We're taking it away. You're going to play the new one, and you're going to pay $120 for that. That's where it's going. I have no part of this live service. I may buy these last 2 consoles only because they're the last real consoles where it reads a disc, and yeah, you're downloading. It's a key and downloading and everything, just like the PlayStation 4 Pro, and frankly, like the One X, which is tragic. And God only knows whether I'll be able to play any of my old games, including Mad Max or any of these games, but that's where it's at. So that's my spiel on that. You can leave your opinions in the comments on it. My last video, I forgot a few games. I did buy a couple other games. But what happened is my wife came home and everything went poof right out the window. My brain was, my memory's not great. And if I get sidetracked and distracted, she was unloading groceries, trying to be quiet, but I just instantly, I was like, well, time to say goodbye. And everything, I had other things I was going to talk about, like the Hunt, there's a game Hunt Down that I bought. It's a digital game. You can get it for about $30 on PlayStation 4, which eventually I would like to really find a PlayStation 4 copy of that. I don't know if it's limited run or 8-bit, one of those outfits made a physical copy of it, but man, is it fun. I really enjoyed playing that. In fact, I played some of that for my wife, and we got through a couple levels, and she really loved it. She goes, God, it's so fun just watching you play a game again. I haven't seen you game like this in so long, and it's been tough with the headaches. I can do it for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I climb on the walls. I'm hoping my headaches will ease off soon. My fatigue has been a little bit better, I've noticed. Just last week, for the first time, I'm not as dead tired when I go to work or come home. I have a little bit more energy. So I'm hoping that that's a positive sign and that the headaches will follow suit, because I've had these since over a year, since July 2nd of 2021, and it's just, it sucks the life out. I go out to eat with a migraine. I go to church with a migraine. This morning I went to church, and I'm sitting there with the bright lights. I just feel like wearing my Ray-Bans inside the church because it's giving me a migraine. You know, I come home and a wife watching a new series on Netflix last night, and I'm just trying to be a good sport and watched a couple hours of it, and my head was just pounding afterwards. So I have to do gaming in the light sections. I've been really enjoying this. I'm not 1 but 2 big patches in this MX versus ATV Legends. I'm really enjoying this. I need to get a Microsoft Money Card. There's a Kawasaki pack for $5 to download. I don't know why the Yamaha one is $10 and the Kawasaki one's $5. Maybe they got more bikes and quads. I don't know, but I might buy just those 2. They've got Husqvarna, KTM. They have other bikes that I like, but I'm probably just going to get the Kawasaki ones initially because that's really my favorite bike. I've been so enjoying this. I've been thinking about buying a brand new Kawasaki dirt bike. I can use my truck. We get so many great places to ride. My wife is furious. No, 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 God, you'll break your back. Something will happen to you, and then you won't be able to work. And so I don't know if I'll be able to get away with it or not. But it's very tempting because I can easily afford a new bike, and I got the truck to take it out, plays my 4-wheel drive, I can take it out and enjoy it. We have kind of a desert environment, but we have a lot of woods and hills here. Great riding, great jumps, awesome trails. It's a really fun sport. And I've been getting, I have more of them here. I have the ones for the original Xbox. I'm dropping some of these games here, but I've got the ones for the original Xbox. I got MX Unleashed, MX versus ATV Unleashed, and I got MTX Motrack. Some of these are really good-looking dirt bike games that were on the original Xbox. ATV Power Quad Racing. I don't know if it's made by a different dev, but it's got a lot of quad stuff. I'm not as much into quads. I've ridden them in 3-wheelers. I used to ride back in the day before they even had quads. And then Crusty Demons of Dirt. This is really cool. This one I've enjoyed quite a bit. And there's more that I want. I want to get that for the Xbox 360. I want to get the I got MX versus ATV Alive. I want to get the MX versus ATV Reflex, and then the Supercross one. And then I want to get all 5 of the MXGP series, MXGP1 on the Xbox 360, and the rest of them on the PlayStation 4, MXGP2 and Pro, and 2019 one. But I'm really getting into these dirt bike games a lot. I forgot how much fun riding is. I used to have a Yamaha 360 Enduro. The thing would do a little over 95 miles an hour. It had speedometers and a tack on it. So it was a good Enduro bike. And I just railed the piss out of that thing. I went through a chain link fence at 65 miles an hour, tore my hands and forearms all up, and really fucked the bike up good. But I got it fixed and get back out on the road. I do jumps at 70, 75 on it, and clear 65-foot to almost 70 feet. I almost made 70-foot jumps on it. I could easily jump a car or two on it. Back then, those bikes didn't have great suspension, so you'd bottom out and be ragged all over the handlebars at 70. But then when I got my YZ250, that thing, I could wheelie it up and down the street all day long and easily, and did massive jumps on that. That thing could take the jumps. You could do some hellacious jumps and clear a couple pickup trucks and, land with no problem. But with my spine the way it is, I don't know, it's probably not a good idea. But I might get into just some desert riding, get like a 450 KX Kawasaki or something, like a big desert bike for a lot of power, and just kind of cruise it out in the desert. But I did get some other games in DLC, which I wanted to talk about. There's a game that they had on sale. Right now is a great sale on the PlayStation and for their Xbox. Their summer sales. I forgot to mention it last time. I got it. It was called Gas Guzzlers Extreme. And it's normally $19.99, $20. Marked down to $4.99, $5. I jumped on that sucker. It's awesome. Basically, it's like a spiritual successor to Full Auto. If you like Full Auto 1 or 2, you'll love it. It's very much kind of a first, third-person shooter, car combat with the machine guns, and I've got a little bit of an intro here that I'll show of it, but it's kind of like a Twisted Metal meets, Full Auto. It's very, very cool. And I had the cars they're showing in the little intro. I had this 67, 68 Mustang they're showing, and I had the 78, 77 style Trans Ams, which are also showing. Unfortunately, I haven't had a Lamborghini Huracan yet, which is what they also show in it. They're all slightly modified from the originals, but pretty close to the Lamborghini Huracan, and very close to the Mustang and the Trans Ams. But the great game. These are fun games, and they're dirt cheap. It's a shame you can't get a physical copy, but it is what it is. Thank God I can go in there and play it for a little bit. So I got that. I got the DLC. There's a couple DLC packs for Desperados 3. This I've had a lot of fun with. I'm only still in the first level because I'm trying to do it perfectly without any deaths. And basically, you're going to keep dying. It's one that you perfect until you get the level completely beat and you get all the way through it without dying, and then you go on to the next one. So I wanted more missions to play. And this is so good. I've watched ACG. Carrick did a great review of this. That's what sold me on it. I went out and bought it right away. I got it for the Xbox One because my hard drive is getting pretty maxed out on the other one. I got all the DLC for Fallout 4 finally. Now, not all of it they had some like workshop thing where you can create inventions and more the crafting thing. I don't care about all that stuff. I just like the expansion missions. I bought Far Harbor years ago. I never did it, but I wanted to get the Nuka World, and then there was another one. I can't remember the name of it. There's basically 3 story expansions. They had a great sale. I got those for 50% off, thank God. They had, amazingly, I installed this after opening it up last week. They've got like 5 DLC things for this. I bought 3 of them, just the weapons. They had one like you could get a different pooch or different dog, and then you could upgrade his little gun thing. I didn't care about the dog thing, but it's funny because I like cats, but I'm not a huge dog fan. They don't do anything for me anymore. I had nothing but grief with the 2 wonderful German Shepherds. I loved them. The 4 years I had them, I had a great time with them. In spite of the over $8,000 they cost me in just damages. They were so destructive. That's another story. That's another vlog. But I love cats because they're very low key. You can take off and go to a vacation for a couple of days, leave a box, a big bowl of water, and plenty of food. They're good. They're fine by themselves. Dogs, you come home and there's going to be holes the size of graves dug. They dig up sprinkler pipes. They'll chew everything down to nothing. And so for me, I'm more of a cat person. But anyway, they had a dog DLC. I didn't get that, but I did have like 3 tank weapons. You could get attachments for your tank. I did buy those. I may have mentioned in my last one, maybe, I don't know, but I bought all the DLC, the 3 or 4 story packs, expansions. I think there's 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them, I believe, for Wolfenstein 2. I got all of those. That was on sale, 50% off. Homefront the Revolution, this was from an older sale, but I bought all the expansion stories. Not all the DLC. They have like extra weapons and the Liberty Pack and all stuff that shoots everything and fire, red, white, and blue fireworks. I don't care about that stuff. I just like the story expansions. So that's what I buy. But I'll wait patiently, and when I see them go on sale, I jump on them. Homefront the Revolution, Immortals Phoenix Rising. This was a $40 season pass I got for $20. So that way I got not 1 but 3 big expansion stories, beautiful extensions of the world they created. This I'm really intrigued with. I remember the day I went out to find this, and all of a sudden I couldn't get it anywhere in town. They had 1 copy, and I ran over there and bought it. It looks very cool. I like the Greek mythology, and it's some kind of in a Pixar animation style, but it's very cool. This was going to be called Gods and Monsters. Why they called it this, I don't know. But Ubisoft does good open world games, I think. I like their games by and large. I love their Far Cry games. I've got all of those open world games, but this looks really good. So I wanted the expansions on this. Outer Worlds, finally they had a good sale on the expansions for this. So I bought both of these, which are really cool. This one I want to start playing real soon. This is one I've been very anxious to play. And I saw Carrick did a review, I think, of one of the DLCs. I don't know if he did both of them, but it's very intriguing, looked very good. And I'm thankful that Obsidian is doing good quality games again. And now with Microsoft behind them, they may have more money for more AAA effort, and that would be great. Here's my MX versus ATV Encore, my last big MX game I bought from them. I did buy the Kawasaki, all the Kawasaki bikes, and some of the DLC expansions for tracks and stuff for this. And this is a great game too, but this can't light a candle to Legends. It really can't. This is good, but not near as good as Legends. Mad Max, I pulled this out because I want to get back to this. There's 5 DLCs for this. I do have all of those because I bought the original pass that got me, or the better copy of it. So I have them for the PlayStation 4, and I've got them all for this. This is like 5 DLC things for it, little collectible type deals and little missions and it's like a Rockstar energy drink thing you can put on your car. And so some of it's kind of throwaway DLC stuff. But this I've got like another 15 to 17 hours back in this, and I just keep thinking about this a lot. the new movie that's coming out that's about Furiosa, that's going to be the name of it, and it's a prequel to Fury Road. Well, a lot of what I found out about what I found out about this new prequel that they're making, Furiosa, it's going to go back showing how she was kidnapped from her village, from the Green Place, and used as a concubine or whatever for Morton Joe, and how she worked her way up to be entrusted to drive the war rig and all that. Well, they're going to have a lot of expansions, and a lot of the characters, the Dementis and characters that were in this, and some of your missions will be in the movie, including, they showed Gastown in the game that's in the movie. There were a lot of things, they overwrote the backstory. They did enormous backstory writing on every character and every town, every thing in that movie for Fury Road. And they, at the time, they were developing the game, and they didn't want to waste it, so they utilized a lot of the story and character elements for the game. So there'll be some canon from this in the new movie that he's working on. It's in production right now in Australia. It's already, some of the vehicles are even more over the top than the Fury Road. It's very impressive. I got a link to our guy that's on top of all the best behind the scenes stuff of it right now, showing the movie actors that are there and the vehicles, and it's enormous, huge production, even bigger than Fury Road, but it's exciting. So I want to get back to playing this because of that. And I got DLC for, I got all the DLC for Just Cause 3, Need for Speed Rivals, Need for Speed Payback, Wreckfest, Dirt Rally 2.0, did the first Dirt Rally, Zombie Army 4 Dead War. I bought the first season pass, but now they've got, I think, a second one and maybe even more. That one is a lavish horde mode, kind of like the Sniper Elite, but just based against zombies and a real killer horde mode deal. And then Strange Brigade, I bought the season pass for that to get all the DLC. So I'm slowly getting everything. The Arkham Knight, I also have like 38 DLC things for that. That I bought just the massive season pass for it. Someone was kind enough to donate a digital copy of that for me. But I do that when I can get it cheap. I'd like to have the physical Arkham Knight game for the PlayStation 4, which would be neat. That way I've got all of them physically. If nothing else, they look nice in a collection. But that's it, guys. Just a little bit of update as to what I'm doing. Oh, and then also the Hunt Down game. I'll show a little bit of footage of it here again, but I've enjoyed that so much. My wife loves to watch me play that because it reminds me of Duke Nukem and those kind of older style games. I said it's done in that spirit of the old arcade games. It's very well done and very 80s, lots of 80s tropes in this. Very cool. I love the music. I love the 3 characters you can choose between. And it's very satisfying. It's a lot like Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. If you like those little side-scrolling, fun shoot-'em-ups with really violent, gory kills and just satisfying kills with a nice punch to them, this game is cool. Once you learn the ins and outs of it, you get really good at it. But the game radically, from level to level, it ramps up in difficulty. Boss battles get harder. It gets much more. I mean, you got to be on your moving on your toes all the time. It's very cool. But that's it, guys. Just to show you a little bit of what I've been doing, and I can give you my thoughts for whatever it's worth on GTA 6. You guys are gonna. I know a lot of you are gonna buy it no matter what. You don't care if it's online. You don't care if you play as a female, as a cat, as a dog. I mean, as a werewolf. You're just happy to play it. I understand. It's just not for me. I see GTA as like a serious game, even though it has a lot of comedic stuff in it. Saints Row is so out there. That's a turn your brain off game. It's like it's zany. And I've never played the Saints Row 1 and 2. I've heard 2 is really good. I'm tempted to buy Saints Row, maybe 1 and 2 for the 360. God, you can get them dirt cheap. They're really cheap. Even the guides are cheap for them. And maybe see how I like those. Maybe I like them. I kind of passed on them before. I've heard that 3 is where it went really off the rails and got crazy. And when it gets too zany, I'm not a Naked Gun kind of humor, and even Charlie Sheen and Hot Shots. There's certain types of Naked Gun humor. It's not my thing. I'm more of a Woody Allen type humor, more well-written, biting satire is a kind of like the movie Manhattan, Stardust Memories, Annie Hall, even the movie Interiors, even though it's a very serious drama. It has you can see the Woody Allen neuroticism that's laced throughout it that is very funny, even though it's a serious movie. So I like more serious humor in things. That's just my taste of humor. Sometimes the new Saints Row, I'm intrigued. I can always cancel a pre-order. I may play it and hate it. Can't take the Gen Z stuff and hey, give it to someone or trade it in or something. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I like the Southwest thing. I like the muscle cars, over-the-top explosions. It's just a fun open-world game because basically all we got is we got Mafia. Hope there'll supposedly be another Mafia game in the works, I hope. So for open-world games, we get Mafia, we get Far Cry, and GTA. That's it. GTA's dead now, and frankly, Far Cry, parts of GTA 6 look really, I'm sorry, Far Cry 6 look really good, and other aspects of it, I just can't do. But we'll see. I may get that one down the road. I would like to try it at least, but I got to play 5 first. My backlog's so big right now. But anyway, I can talk for hours, guys. I'm a little tired, but I'm glad. I feel a little bit more upbeat this weekend. I had a really good, productive week and got some good praise from the boss. I feel good, and life is good. So got a week from hell coming up here. But that means I'll have more money for games and to go out to eat and stuff like that. So we end up putting in the bank, which is where we're putting most of our money. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your games.